Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into the Bahraini novel Teh by Jafar Selman. We're going to break down a review of this book that gets into what makes it so powerful. And it all starts with a pretty surprising fact about where the story actually came from.
Okay, so right off the bat, you need to know something crucial. This isn't just some made-up story, it's actually based on real events. Yeah, the author, who was a journalist, met a real person and based the entire novel on their life story. Wild, right?
So, here's how it happened. The author met this young guy, heard his story, and was just so moved by it that he knew he had to turn it into a novel. Of course, he changed the names and places to protect everyone's privacy, but the heart of the story, the struggle, the journey, that's all 100% real.
All right, so let's talk about the person at the center of all this. We meet a young man who feels like his entire life has already been decided for him, Like his destiny is already written and it's not looking great.
Here's the setup. He comes from a poor family. He's the youngest of 3 sons, and their whole life is just back-breaking work on the family farm. Now his 2 older brothers, they've kind of just accepted their fate. But our guy, the youngest son, no way. He feels completely trapped and dreams of escaping, of having a life that isn't defined by poverty.
And the biggest obstacle, the main source of conflict, really boils down to one person: his father. We're talking about a super rigid, authoritarian kind of dad who forces his sons to do exactly what he thinks is best. He dictates their entire lives, and if they dare to disobey, well, the consequences are serious. So you can just feel this huge clash coming, right?
So you've got these 2 futures just pulling him in opposite directions. On one hand, there's the path his dad has chosen for him, a future of nothing but hard labor on the farm. But on the other hand, there's his personal dream. A totally different life, one he can build through school and getting a good education. It's a huge gap, and the big question is, can he possibly make that leap?
But you know what? He doesn't just sit around dreaming about it. He actually does something. This next part of the story is all about his incredible drive to build a new life for himself, no matter what it takes. So what's his plan? He absolutely excels in his studies. He pours every ounce of his energy into schoolwork, and guess what? It works. He earns a university scholarship, which is like his golden ticket out of there. And that success leads to something even bigger. That big opportunity is a job offer from his cousin's company. I mean, this is huge. It's the kind of thing that could change not just his life, but his whole family's life forever. It feels like he's finally made it. His future's set. But is it really his golden ticket, or is there a catch? And this is where the story really takes a turn. Because, you see, getting out was the easy part. It's navigating this brand new world that's going to test him in ways he never expected. We're talking about a whole new set of challenges, and a lot of them are about right and wrong.
Okay, so he landed the dream job. But now we have to ask, did he actually make it? Did he succeed in this totally new environment?
And maybe even more important than that, let's say he did succeed. Did his life actually change for the better? Was this new world everything he hoped it would be? Did it make him happy?
Yeah, this new world he's in, it really puts him to the test. It's not just about whether he can do the job, it's about what kind of person he is. And along the way, it starts to reveal the true faces of all the people he's now surrounded by.
And through his experiences, he starts to meet all these different types of people, the kinds of characters we all run into. There's the suck-up, the one who's only nice to get something. There's the truly loyal friend, the one who has his back no matter what. And of course, there's the betrayer.
And this quote from the review just hits the nail on the head. You only know a true friend in harsh conditions. That's really what this book is all about. It's saying that you don't really know who someone is or even who you are until things get really, really difficult.
So, with all of that packed into the story, what did the reviewer ultimately think? What's the final verdict?
Well, the review is super positive. The writing style gets a big thumbs up for being easy and simple to get into. And the story itself, it's called wonderful and authentic, which makes sense, right? Since it's based on a true story.
And the final score? A really solid 4 out of 5 stars. That's a huge stamp of approval right there.
But here's a really interesting point from the review. It's specifically recommended for readers who are under 18, and that's probably because it deals with all these huge themes like ambition, fighting against the odds, and trying to figure people out for the first time.
Which brings us to the final thought I want to leave you with. This whole story really makes you think about the protagonist's choice.
right? That classic battle between family duty and your own dreams, between the life you know, even if it's hard, and a new life that's a total unknown. So put yourself in his shoes, facing the same circumstances. What would you choose?